Welcome everybody to the third place playoff and the final of the ALR Constructors Supercup. It is the last two races of the event. It's been 2 whole weeks of the Constructors Cup event, and so we're just waiting for the guys to jump into the lobby. This is going to be the first race, the third place playoff, to determine who is going to finish the third team in the whole tournament, of course, and it's going to be between Mercedes and it's going to be between Haas as well. So it's for the first round of tonight, the third place playoff tonight. Of course, we had a very entertaining real life Grand Prix earlier on today, which was nice to have F1 back on the actual screens, and some real life F1. It was a very entertaining race. So hopefully we get some entertaining races and some nice races today as well. And so we're just waiting for one more person to jump into the lobby, and then we'll be able to crack on with the third place playoff. Let me just find the comments, and we will be able to. We're just waiting for one person. We've got 9 out of the 10 drivers who are racing tonight. And let me just sort out. The comments. There we go. We've got all the chats ready to go, and we've got one driver readying up. So I don't know what's going on here, but we're waiting for one more driver for Team Mercedes, it looks like, and then we'll be underway. We've got Dave Smith, who's the first guy in, saying "Go Hammers." So supporting the Haas driver of Sean Hammers there, I believe. Unless he's supporting the West Ham team, but I don't know if they're playing or not right now. But we're just waiting for one more guy to jump into the lobby, and then we'll crack on with the first race. Sorry, Ginger Ray just put a lovely emoji of something or other. I can't really tell what that is. But one more person to join from Team Mercedes, and then we'll crack on with the third place playoff. So it'll be Team Mercedes against Team Haas to determine who's going to be finishing in third place in the whole tournament. Of course, it's been we've gone through the 5 rounds of the group stages, and we've gone through the quarterfinals, of course, and semi-finals, which were on Friday. And then, of course, these 2 guys who, unfortunately, the losers of their semi-final, who are facing off today in the third place playoff. And then again, after this race, we'll have the final race, which will be between Team Renault and Team Williams, of course, who battled it out in the semi-finals as well to get the wins and get through. And so after this race will be the final, and we're just waiting for one more person for Team Mercedes to join in the session, and then we'll be able to crack on with the next race. Now we're just waiting to see if they're going to turn up. Really, it'd be good if they did. They did have everyone has confirmed they are racing, and we're waiting to see if they're going to show up or not. But not sure where he is at the moment. But he's only a few minutes late, so we'll see if anybody's going to show up in the next minute or two. I think the PlayStation's enjoying the first race of the season as well. It's seems like it's trying to perform as well as the Mercedes engine was Mercedes engine, of course, in Austria earlier on today. But it looks like he's having a bit of trouble with the PlayStation as well as the sensors on the cars in real F1. But no sign of Mumford, I think it is. Just waiting to see if he's going to show up or what's he going to do, because he's due to be on any minute. Well, his race is meant to have started by now, but we'll find out if he's going to join or not. And if it gets to 20 past, we'll have to start anyway, because he's unfortunately letting his team down. But unfortunately, we're on a schedule now. We've got to get the final on at 8 o'clock, so that we can get the ALR gold, silver, and bronze draws, of course, which are going to come out live on the ALR YouTube channel after this event at 9 o'clock tonight. So we will have to get the final going at 8 o'clock on time to make sure that everything's all sorted and done before the draw comes live. So we will have to finish this quite quickly. We're just waiting for one more driver. He's got 1 more minute to get into the session. And then if he doesn't join, unfortunately, we're going to have to crack on as it is. So it will be four drivers for Mercedes and 5 for Team Haas. Sure. Ginger Rage has just said he's very excited about the draw as well. Of course, Ginger Rage is the commentator, so I don't understand why. But there we go. So he's throwing his hat in the ring, so to speak. Yeah, we're just waiting to see if Mumford's going to join, and unfortunately he's not, so we're going to have to go, I think. So yep, we're just going to get the guys to get going, and Haas as well. Unfortunately, one of the Mercedes drivers has chosen not to turn up at all, which is a bit unfortunate for them. But you never know; they could still win it potentially. So we'll find out in a minute. We're going to have, obviously, this is a Mercedes versus Haas for the third place playoff, and we're going to have Williams and Renault, of course, Williams and Renault, sorry, of course, in the final. And yeah, that'll be after this race. Of course, we've got one shot qualifying and 25% race, as has been the same throughout the event. And yeah, once we get cracking, we'll load up and we'll get cracking with the qualifying. 200 subscribers, says Ayrton. I think yeah, ALR has reached 200 subscribers, which is really nice. Thank you very much for subscribing, everybody. Darren has said, Serious Mushroom has said, good luck all and evening all. So yeah, so good luck all and evening all. And yeah, so we've got everybody in that we can get in, and we're just waiting for them to obviously get. We're going to get through the loading screens, of course, and then we'll get cracking with the. They'll get cracking with getting their setups all loaded and things like that, getting everything ready for the race and perfected, ready for them to get going, and then we will crack on with the one-shot qualifying. And just waiting to see if when they're all loading in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I've got 5, yeah, I've got 9 there. I've got the score sheet up, and I've got the comments up, and I've got everything ready to go. So I'm just waiting for these guys now to load in their setups, and when they have got everything sorted, we'll be underway for the penultimate rather qualifying of the event. And then we'll be very interesting to see who's going to come out on top in this one. I think it's going to be quite close between both teams, even though obviously Mercedes have a one-man disadvantage as it stands, because unfortunately one of their teammates did not show up. Yeah, so unfortunately it might play a factor. We'll find out in a minute, of course. Until we see what's happening on track in the race, we won't be able to tell. But I'll put the information on. We've got two guys who are starting on the soft compound tyres, it looks like, of Energetics and Mike. But everybody else is on the mediums, it seems. So yeah, they're going for a longer first stint. It looks like most of the runners here. It seems like that's their idea anyway. Grant has said, "Come on, boys, let's be the best team. Let's make the best. Come on, boys, let the best team win." Right, okay, got the words out there. Yeah, we'll find out who's going to be the best team, obviously, for the whole tournament, and in this round as well, in the next few minutes, or in the next hour or so, probably, hopefully. So yeah, we'll wait until, well, maybe not in the next hour, because the final doesn't kick off till 8, so that will be, yeah, it'll probably be in the next sort of hour and 5 minutes or so. But yeah, we're just waiting to see who's going to be putting their car on pole, and who's going to be who's going to set the fastest time, of course, around Silverstone. So it's the full Silverstone circuit. We've got one reserve driver tonight, which is Curly Red here. We're on board with him now for the Mercedes in the all black livery. So for the similar to Mercedes livery really, apart from the sort of green blue. But yeah, so he's just missing that. But otherwise he's pretty much in the Mercedes livery. And yeah, so he's reserving for Mercedes tonight in place of Jake Wilson. We were meant to have 5 Mercedes drivers, but unfortunately one of the Mercedes has not turned up, as it looks like Emerson has crossed the line and put his car for Team Mercedes on pole. A few disqualifications there. We'll find out who exactly that was in the. Oh, here we go in this screen. 2 Haas drivers, unfortunately, not saying a time. Alhan in P9 and LPE in P8. Everybody else getting a time on the board. It looks like it's Mercedes out in front at the moment with the top 3. Of course, Mike on the soft compound tyres for Mercedes there. The top 2 on the mediums. Fireshot, Sean Hammers, Energetics, all Team Haas as well, with the same strategies. 1 guy on the softs and 2 on the mediums. And then Curly Red reserving for Mercedes tonight on the medium compound tyres also. So yeah, just waiting for the timer to tick down. We'll get there eventually. Waiting for the timer to tick down, and then they'll crack on with loading up there. We'll have a lovely little loading screen again, showing you the lovely pit lane of Silverstone and the lovely main building, of course, for the or pit crews and for all the crews really. And now we'll load up the strategies. So we'll decide here, or these drivers will decide really when they want to pit, what tyres they're going to go on when they get into the pits. It is a very long pit lane around here in terms of time. I know another fact that Sean has left me with is that it's I think it's the longest in terms of time, but it's not the longest in terms of actual meters. I think Brazil is the longest, but we're not doing Brazil in this event. We're doing Silverstone. So anyway, yeah, it is a really long pit lane. So yeah, any pit stops are going to be are going to take a long time to obviously get round the pit lane because of the pit limiter. So yeah, it does add quite a bit of time onto your time. We will wait and see now as the guys are ready. We're just going to get the telemetry enabled, rather not disabled. The lights are on and now they're off. And away we go. It was a bit of a slow start. Don't know what happened there. It sort of jumped for me. But Emerson leads the way. Into turn one we go. Mike and Dan have switched places. LP is up 2 places. Energetics has dropped down. Everyone's got through safely, it looks like. I think. Someone's gone wide a bit there, but they've managed to keep it going. Energetics, that is. Sean Hammers, LPE has jumped up to P5. So 3 places gained for LPE off the start there, which was brilliant from LPE. All over the back of Dan Murphy is Fireshot of the Haas team, the lead car as it stands at the moment for the Haas. And yeah, we're just waiting to see if there's going to be any more moves into Luffield. This is, or out of Luffield rather now, all the way down to Cops as LPE and Sean Hammers are switching places again. They're side by side, the teammates. Of course, they came together in Russia, which is round 5 of the group stage, and I think LPE is doing really well too. Help his team out, but he's under pressure, even under pressure from his teammates. He's caused a few issues. LPE and Curly Red going side by side through the Maggots and Beckett's. That is not a good place to overtake. Definitely wouldn't recommend that. Curly Red's all over the back of him still, as it looks like it's Team Haas who are dropping back at the moment, but of course the strategy will come into play on that one as well. Curly Red looking for a move down the inside into Stowe. He's not going to make that move stick, I don't think, not quite, no. So unfortunately for Curly Red, LPE has been passed, of course, by his teammate as he into the pits as LPE for the Haas team. Got a 5-second penalty for speeding into the pit lane. Of course, we can see here on board with LPE as Mike gets the fastest lap for the first lap of the race. We can see how long the pit lane takes in terms of the time, and yeah, he's losing quite a lot of time. I don't think is he in for a front wing change? He's not. Oh, he is. He's in for a front wing change, so must have had a bit of contact there with somebody or other on the first lap. Out in not out in front exactly. Alhan, has passed Curly Red, Team Mercedes, Haas, passing Team Mercedes in that instance, and Curly Red is he's in a bit of a sandwich really between both Haas's there of Alhan and Energetics. Looking down the inside, is he on Alhan? But he's not going to make that move stick. I don't think Alhan's covered him off there really well. Becker has said, "Come on, Team Haas." So Haas is being cheered on by Becker. Mike has lost the lead, but he's lost the lead to his teammate Emerson, who's a very quick driver. So of course taking that lead back from Mike on the soft compound tyres. So maybe those soft compound tyres aren't worth going on for too long. LPE has obviously made his pit stop, and as Mike and Dan side by side through the S's of Maggots and Beckett's holding up Sean Hammers and Fireshot. Fireshot has passed both of them up into P2 for Team Haas. That's a great overtake from Fireshot, of course, benefiting on the battling between Mike and Dan. And is he going to be able to hold it down the main straight? Mike is close to him, very close, side by side, but Fireshot keeps that corner, and he's going to have to defend to the inside from the oncoming Mike. Mike's gone very deep into the corner there, unfortunately on the brakes. Fireshot is banging wheels, and I don't understand what they're doing there, because it's not great driving from either of them there. I don't know whether Dan's going to go around down the inside on Mike into the first corner. No, not quite. I don't know what's going on here, because they're both in the same team, and they're both fighting each other massively. Dan and Sean Hammers have come together there, and I think that was probably a bit of both everyone's fault there really, but no damage on either car. They can carry on and get racing again. Dan has dropped back now from his teammate Mike, so I don't know whether Mike was trying to let him through or whether there was no team orders there, but it was absolutely appalling from Team Mercedes in terms of the communication there. Dan has dropped out of the DRS range of Mike, of course, so there unfortunately for Dan, he's now having to play a bit of catch up. We've got the two Haas drivers of Sean Hammers and Alhan right on his tail as well, and it's going to be putting him under a lot of pressure now that Mike's sort of pushed him out of the way and not helped him at all as a teammate, unfortunately for Dan, reserving tonight for Team Mercedes, as is Curly Red. But Mike's got a 3 second time penalty there for corner cut, and I think he's trying to get on the back of Fireshot on those fresh soft compound tyres still, trying to get the overtake down into Stowe, but I don't know whether he's going to be too close or too far back rather on this occasion. Dan is out of the DRS, and he's going to be under pressure now from Sean Hammers down the main straight, or down the back straight, sorry. Sean Hammers makes the move up into P4, Energetics makes the move on Curly Red up into P7, and I think those 2 moves for Team Haas, promoting them up a position each, getting an extra point, of course, for each of those moves as well. So very good from Team Haas. Oh, Dan Murphy's come back at Sean Hammers, and I think he's got the move back, sorry, here, so never mind. Fireshot, though, has set the fastest lap of the race, so he's got that in the bag for Team Haas. As it stands at the moment, of course, Fireshot doing a great job there. He's still under pressure from Mike, who's in the DRS range. Dan Murphy out of DRS range now of his teammate Mike, who they were battling between each other, it looked like, earlier on in the last lap 2 and lap 3, which really cost Dan, it looked like. And it definitely cost Team Mercedes the two positions over Team Haas in terms of Fireshot. Alhan is through on his teammate Sean Hammers. Sean Hammers passing or moving out the way to let him through, and he's got who's that? He's got that's Energetic, sorry, with Curly Red behind him, reserving for Team Mercedes. LPE, of course, right at the back at the moment as it stands, but of course has made an early pit stop for those medium compound tyres and should be able to go to the end on those medium compound tyres as well. So it will probably play back into LPE's hands potentially when the other guys at the front make their pit stops. Of course, everybody else apart from LPE has to make one more pit stop. We haven't made any yet, but they have to make one mandatory pit stop anyway during this race. Back to the guys at the front, and we've got Mike all over the back of Fireshot within DRS range down the back straight heading towards Stowe. And I think there's going to be a move here from Mike, is there? Or is he a bit too far back? He's going for a late move down the inside on Fireshot. He's been spun. He's managed to keep the car going. Dan's going to come through. I don't know where Mike's and Alhan's through as well. Energetics is going to be too far back, I think, but Mike is through into down to P5. So unfortunately, from there for a bit of contact from Dan Murphy. Sorry, is in the pits for Team Mercedes. Emerson sets the fastest lap of the race up in the lead at the moment as it stands. Mike down to P5. Curly Red has jumped down, of course, who's in the pits. Curly Red, sorry, reserving for Team Mercedes into turn 1 now, and away he goes. Where is LP going to come out? Well, I think he might be behind Dan as it stands. Dan is onto the soft compound tyres, and away he goes. So I think, he's going to be a bit too far behind Dan, but of course Dan was higher up the order than LPE was when LPE did make that early pit stop, so potentially LPE might be able to make some gains on the guys. Oh, he's going a bit over the curbs there, on the guys as Dan's coming out the pits now. So you can see how long that takes for I thought Dan was well out the way of LPE, but he's not going to be too far ahead of him. Sean Hammers is passed by Curly Red in Lovefield, it looks like, and away goes Curly Red, but of course he's going to have that DRS on. He's going to have the DRS, on Curly Red is Sean Hammers later on in the lap. Mike is all over the back of Energetics, both on the soft compound tyres. The only person who's on the soft compound tyres other than those two is Dan Murphy, who's just pitted. So he's going to be going to the end potentially on those soft compound tyres, making them last about 7 or 8 laps, supposedly. We're waiting to see how long they're actually going to last, and whether these guys are going to carry on. So we just see Curly Red and Sean Hammers going on the grass there a bit, coming into down the Hangar Straight. Mike has passed Energetics. It looks like just about. Has he made it stick? Yes, he has made it stick into Stowe, and they're away again. I think Mike's trying to make up some positions. Fireshot has pit from P2. We've got a yellow flag in sector 2, and it's LPE in where is that? Where are you? Oh, he's in Cops. He's just come out of Cops. So the old pit exit that is, and he's just had a bit of a spin into Cops, unfortunately, on his own. So unfortunately for LP, he's got damage on that front wing as well for the Team Haas. He's down in P9 as it stands. Fireshot is coming out the pits now. He's made his pit stop, I believe. Yeah, he's coming out he's on the way. Sorry, Dan is coming round the final corner as Mike has got another 3 second time penalty there. So I think he's got 6 seconds in total now. Where is Fireshot going to come out ahead of Dan? Is he going to be ahead of Dan? He's going to be ahead of Dan just about. Not too far ahead of Dan though. He's 1.6. Well, 1.2. Sorry, he might be within DRS ranges, Dan, almost, but very close there. As we've got the yellow flag. Where's the yellow flag got this time? Is Emerson. Emerson is spun from the lead, and he's in Cops as well, and he's in the wall, same place as LPE, and he's lost the lead to Alhan of Team Haas. Mike is through as well, Energetics is through as well, and Emerson is in P4 now, under pressure from Curly Red, his teammate. who's reserving for him tonight. And yeah, Emerson, I think he's got front wing damage. Sean Hammers passed him. Emerson down to P6 from the lead of this race. And I think Fireshot's going to be. Fireshot might be very interested in this, because I think he'll be taking the net, or he's in the net lead of this race as it stands. Emerson will have to make a pit stop, and will probably have to change that front wing. Yeah, oh no, says Darren. We've got a front wing change. It definitely looks like for Emerson. Unfortunately for him, we've got some pit activity as well coming into the pits. Is Sean Hammers? No, maybe not. Yeah, Curly Red, sorry, and Emerson, of course, to replace that front wing for Emerson as well. So both Mercedes there, Curly Red the reserve, and Emerson the captain, team captain, coming in to change that front wing. LP is also leaving the pits now as he's being lapped by his teammate there of Alhan, I think it is, and Energetics and Mike. Mike is going to be having to do some work here for Team Mercedes, because he's the only one yet to pit, and he's the highest one up as it stands at the moment. Dan Murphy set the fastest lap of the race as he passes both Curly Red and Emerson in the pits. Of course, it's going to be a very, very long pit stop for both those Mercedes. Well, for Emerson specifically, but yeah, a very long pit stop, of course, as Energetics is battling with Mike. And they've been battling all this race, really, haven't they, so far, since that spin for Mike, of course. Right on his tail is Mike, but is it going to go into cops? It's going to be difficult to make an overtake through here any time. Mike's actually going to be, Energetics is actually going to have DRS on his teammate LPE here, I think, which will help defend him from Mike. But, of course, if Mike's got the energy to deploy, it will also help benefit him in terms of overtaking, of course, down the main straight. Down the back straight, I should say. We keep getting the straights mixed up, but here we go. And down the hangar straight they go, so into Stowe. Mike on the outside, is he going to make a move? It doesn't look like he's going to be able to hold it. I think he's gone wider there on Stowe, but has he made that move? He has made that move stick. Up into P2 for Mike. Dan Murphy's got a 3-second time penalty for Team Mercedes. Of course, Mike has got 6-second penalties, I think. But Alhan and Sean Hammers for Team Haas, both in the pits now, so Fireshot is going to come round and claim back that P3, and as will and Dan Murphy will claim that P4. It looks like. I think everybody going on to the soft compound tyres now, so everybody has made a pit stop. In terms of LPE, I think he's made 2 pit stops, but everybody has made their pit stop and will be able to crack on and get going to the end of this race. We're just waiting to see as Fireshot sets the fastest lap of the race, and that will be another point for Team Haas as they jump up ahead of Alhan and Sean Hammers. And we're just waiting to see if Curly Red's going to do the same thing. Curly Red is going to jump across, up into P6. It looks like. Oh no, maybe not. Sorry, Sean Hammers has come out ahead of him. So that is P5 and P6 for Alhan and Sean Hammers after making their pit stops. So pretty good for Team Haas there in terms of getting the position sorted. And we're waiting to see if when Mike and Energetics will make their pit stops as well, because of course these two are the lead cars but are yet to make their pit stops. So they'll be going on to the medium compound tyres, I believe, or they should be. Otherwise, they can't go on the soft compound tyres again, because they will be disqualified if they do not use 2 different sets of tyres in the whole race. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see as Energetics is lining up a move. It looks like on Mike round the outside into Stowe's. Mike's not leaving him any room. Sorry there, and. Yeah, just bullying him off the track. They're carrying on, are they? Or are they going to go into the pits now? No, it looks like they're both carrying on. Mike's trying to turn in on him, which isn't very good. But Energetics has stayed right on the back of him in P2, and will probably, no doubt, have an attack either into turn 1 here or down the main straight. I don't think it's really wise to have an attack into turn 1. He's thought better of it as well. So, yeah, he's going to wait and bide his time and then have an attack later on in the race. Going to Fireshot, like I said, is going to be the net leader of this race once these top 2 are pitted. So we're going to have to wait and see where the leaders as they are at the moment. Obviously, Mike and Energetics, where they're going to slot back into this grid, of course. Right under pressure is Mike at the moment from Energetics, but he's not been able to make that move stick into left field after the first DRS zone. Sorry, and then we're just waiting to see if anybody else is going to be gaining on. I think Fireshot is out in control. Sorry, at the moment. He's got Dan behind him, but Dan's got a 3-second time penalty there, so remember that. Darren has said Britain is my worst track too. I'm nervous. So of course Darren for Team Williams is a bit nervous, and that's not good. We're not any nerves into the final. So that will be coming up, of course, at 8 o'clock after this race between Team Williams and Team Renault, the finalists for the Constructors Supercup event. And his Energetics again back on the back of Mike. Got the DRS. He's turned everything down though, so maybe he's just saving it now for for the exit when he comes out of the pits. I'm guessing these guys are going to pit both on this lap. Mike looks like he's going in the pits now. Yep, he is, and so is Energetics as well. And very late on the brakes is Energetics. That's not very good from either driver there, but they've both got in without causing a penalty, which is good. Fire shot into the pits as well. No, sorry, not into the pits. Sorry, will take the lead. Sorry, of this race. Dan has dropped back now. He's about 2 seconds back from Fire Shot. So Fire Shot's got the pace now to get away from Dan. It looks like, and he's going to be going for it. Great guns into lap 11. Sorry, now. Is it lap 11? It should be lap 11, shouldn't it? I thought it was lap 10 then. Anyway, I thought they just started. I thought they were due to start lap 11 just now, but maybe not. Alhan up to P3, ahead of Mike and Energetics as well. Sean Hammer's coming through. Will probably be in front of these two as well. We'll just wait and see. I think he is. Just about, yep, Sean Hammers has passed goes. Curly Red, sorry, for Team Mercedes. Mike out in P6, Energetics in P7. Emerson is still in P8, but he's right on the back now of Energetics, so we'll be able to try and close that gap down for Team Mercedes. On those soft compound tyres is the Mercedes driver. So we'll wait and see if Emerson can make any gains. Of course, he had that spin at Cops, and so did LPE as well. And LPE, that was after LPE's first pit stop, so he's had to make 2 pit stops. Has LPE. Emerson and Energetics are fighting into Luffield. I think there was something. They switched positions there briefly, but I think Energetics has regained that position now. Fireshot has got a 3-second time penalty, so he's even on penalties now with Dan. But of course, Dan is 1.8 seconds further back, so he needs to make a move now. And LPE is into the pits again for the Haas team. I'm not sure whether he has had an accident again, or if he needs to change his wing again, or not. We'll find out in a minute. But again, he's going to be lapped. I think it might be the second time he's being lapped now by his teammate Fireshot for sure. And Dan Murphy, Alhan, and Sean Hammer's probably coming through with Curly Red. Mike is all over the back of his teammate Curly Red as he's making a move into Stowe, and away he goes. Made that move stick. Energetics and Emerson battling away into Stowe as well, and I think that's very close between the two of them. LPE is going to come out the pits. He's trundling along now. I'm not sure if he made a wing change. I didn't see it in time, of course, but we'll find out later on afterwards, of course. Emerson all over the back now of the Haas driver of Energetics, and he's putting him under pressure. Energetics hasn't got DRS or anything to protect him from any cars in front, so he's going to be under pressure from the Mercedes driver as they go side by side, really into the hairpin. Good moving from both of them there, very clean. I think it was anyway. Looked like it. Emerson has got the move done. He's going to have DRS, is he, or not? Yes, he's got the DRS as well, so he's moved the move up to P7 for Team Mercedes. Energetics dropping down into P8, but of course he's going to be sticking to the back of that Mercedes and trying to get the DRS and the jump back on him, of course, later on in the race. Curly Red, being passed by Mike, his teammate. Of course, Curly Red reserving for Mercedes tonight, and for Jake Wilson, of course. We're waiting to see if Curly Red can keep in that DRS range and get on and keep that position for Team Mercedes, of course. Dan Murphy is putting that gap down a bit to Fireshot in the lead of this, in the second place of this race, but he needs to get on it and try and get an overtake move done to get the top spot for Mercedes. Of course, with both Fireshot and Dan having a 3-second penalty, that will come back, or that will affect the standing. At the end of the race, but Alhan is actually the one. Energetics is passing Emerson into Stowe around the outside. Is Energetics? He's going to keep the move or not? I think Emerson's got it back, but down the inside will come Energetics. No, he won't. He's thought better of it. So into club corner, they've both resumed position. Back to this here. Dan and Fireshot both got a 3-second time penalty. So Dan needs to get on it now if he wants to get the top spot secured for Mercedes, unless Fireshot, of course, gets another penalty. Alhan doing a great job actually for Team Haas in P3. If he can get within that 3-second window of Dan, he could even jump down for P2 for Team Haas, which would obviously boost their points tally. So it's possible that Alhan could get on the second step of the podium ahead of Dan, as we've seen. Time penalties do come into a factor at the end of this race, don't they? As we see in Austria in real life as well. It's only 3-second time penalties, no 5 seconds. Dan Murphy's got another 3-second time penalty, so actually he's under pressure now from Alhan in P3 in terms of losing that second place for Team Mercedes. I think Alhan might be able to nick it now. Sean Hammers has got another 3-second time penalty as well, but I think Mike's got 6 seconds behind him. Emerson is now in DRS range. We've got a spinner again. It's LPE in the same corner. It's Cop's corner again for LPE, and he needs to get back on it and get going again, get back on track and carry on, because he needs to finish this race. But he's doing a good job in terms of recovering. He's lost his front wing again, unfortunately, so he might have to come into the pits once again for about his, I think it's his fourth pit stop. Done for 3 already, so yeah, maybe his 4th pit stop if he's coming in or not, but we'll find out. Emerson's past Curly Red. That's just a switch of team for Team Mercedes, sorry. Emerson from Team Mercedes reserving is Curly Red for Mercedes as well. Sean Hammers sets the fastest lap of the race, which is a great lap time there from Sean Hammers for Team Haas, 28.813 for the Haas team. And again, I think it's been yo-yoing between the Haas drivers really. Apart from I saw Emerson and Dan pop up once. I hope he's got another 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. I think he might get enough penalties to get himself disqualified at this stage of the race. He's been getting I think he's got one every time he's gone into the pits, hasn't he? And that's his 4th time in the pits. So not very good from LPE, unfortunately. Energetics is the closest battle out on track with Curly Red. Of course, Haas on reserve Mercedes as it stands at the moment. We are on to the final lap, and I just need to double check where Fireshot is, so I can go back to him in a minute. He is just about to enter Magnus and Beckett, so I can go back to this battle here. And we're just coming around Luffield. I keep getting those corners wrong. It's not Luffield, is it? But near enough. And Energetics saved quite a lot of ERS there, so he's saving up a lot of his ERS to make a move later on in this lap. Is he going down the outside, around Cops? I think he's made that move. He's made that move stick, and he's done it brilliantly. Has Energetics. Well done from Energetics for Team Haas, overtaking Curly Red in a very difficult place on this lap. And Curly Red is on behind him now, but he will have DRS down the hanger straight. But back over here to Fireshot, who's done a pretty good race. This guy has. He's come through, and he's snuck through really as well, and he's won this race for Team Haas. Dan Murphy in P2 for Mercedes, but I think Alhan will jump up to P2. Yep, Alhan for Team Haas is in P2. Dan Murphy down to P3 for Mercedes. Sean Hammer's going to come across the line now in P4. Mike is going to come across the line in P5, but I think he might change positions with Emerson. Emerson in P5, Mike in P6. Oh, sorry, Mike all the way down to P7. Curly Red in P6. Energetics in P8, and we'll wait for LPE to come across the line as well. So I'll just add up the scores on the doors. We've got 10 for Fireshot, 9 for Alhan. Sean Hammer's got 7 for 4th. Who else was there? We got Energetics in P8 with 3, and then we've got LPE in P9, which is 2. So that is 31 points for Team Haas. And let me just do the quick maths on the Mercedes team. And we've got 6 for Mercedes, and Curly Red has got 5 for 6th place. And Mike has got 4 for 7th place. Unfortunately, they didn't have a driver turn up, and I'm pretty sure Sean Hammers retains the fastest lap as well. So overall, as it stands without the fastest lap, it's 31.23 to Team Haas. So well deserved from Team Haas. Of course, great racing in that one as well, I think. And fantastic to watch that. Really good racing from both the teams. And I'm pretty sure Sean Hammer's got the fastest lap there, so I'll just wait for the podium celebrations to finish, and then we will see who's come first, really, but or who's come third, sorry, really, because it's of course this is the 3rd place playoff. So we're waiting to see who's got the fastest lap, but I'm pretty sure it was Sean for Team Haas, who's done a great job in this race as well. Unfortunate for LPE, but I think his team came out on top anyway, so it's not too bad for LPE in the long term. We're just waiting to see as the standings pop up who got the fastest lap, and I think it was Sean Hammers in P4, 28.813, and that means it is actually 32-23 in Team Haas's favour, and they win. Well, they come third overall in the whole event. So really well done to Team Haas. Performed really well throughout the tournament, as have Mercedes really as well. So congratulations to both teams. Put the scores in on the doors, and that's 23 for Team Mercedes, 32 for Team Haas. And there we go then. So that's the 3rd place playoff decided. Haas take the victory in the 3rd place playoff. So they have finished 3rd in the event. Of course, Mercedes finishing 4th in the event. And really well done to both teams. Good clean racing, and really well done to Fireshot, of course, winning that race. And carrying on. Hopefully they can carry it on in another event, possibly. We never know when the next event's going on, but we'll be cracking on rather with the gold, silver, and bronze seasons. Of course, on the 19th of July is gold, the 20th is silver, and the 21st is bronze. Season 4 for gold and Season 2 for silver and bronze. Of course, the team and driver draw is following this at 9 o'clock live on this channel as well. So I just need to invite now the captains for the final, which is going to be Cookie for Team Renault and Granty for Team Williams. So I've just got the invites out now, so we're just waiting to get the team captains in. I will get this screen cleared so that we've got the empty score sheet so that we can fill that in after the next race. This is the final, guys, coming up. So we've crowned the third place team, which was of course Haas. Really well done. So yeah, good job to Team Haas. Of course, commiserations to Mercedes, but they did battle really well. Of course, a man down as well with Team Mercedes, with somebody not joining at the last minute. But yeah, they did a really good race to at least at least be respectable and get some good points, of course, on the board. Of course, we've got Team Renault, who battled away in the semi-final. They were very easy winners over the Team Mercedes. Unfortunately, Mercedes shot themselves in the foot against them. Well, shot themselves in the foot in Germany, of course, in the semi-final, which allowed Renault to walk away with the victory, really. But Renault have got here on merit as well. They've done a good job. I just need to get rid of LPE because he's not reserving for us tonight in the final, anyway. And so yeah, we're just waiting to get the teams in then, and we will crack on for the final of the ALR Constructors Supercup. So we're just waiting for the teams to get sorted, and then we'll be underway for the final of the event at 8 o'clock. So bear with us, guys, we're just getting everybody into the lobby. Quick chance to remind you, of course, that there's going to be the draw, sorry, for for both Gold Season 4, Silver Season 2 and Bronze Season 2 as well, which will all be on this same channel, on the ALR channel, of course, at 9 o'clock, premiering live. So yeah, we're just waiting to see. I hope all the guys in here are looking forward to getting their teams picked, and we've got somebody with a nice engine going by. But yeah, I hope everyone's looking forward to getting their teams picked, and obviously pairing up with your teammates and things like that. So yeah, obviously it'll be a bit more of a team game, hopefully, for F1 2020. It's going to be a fun game, a much better game than this one, of course. Well, that's my hopes anyway, but we'll find out, of course, when that comes out. But of course, yeah, the draw is coming up at 9 o'clock tonight for all 3 leagues, premiering live on this channel. So yeah, don't go anywhere. And after this event, of course, it will be a bit of a break, of course, between this event finishing, of course, and the draw coming up live. But yeah, we'll be back on this channel at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock tonight, of course, will be the draw for Season 4 in Gold, Season 2 in Silver, and Season 2 in Bronze. So just waiting for one more person to join for Team Williams, and then we'll be underway for the final of the Constructors Cup event. It's Williams, of course, against Renault. Captained by Granty is Team Williams, and captained by Cookie is Team Renault. So we're just waiting to see. We'll just wait to see if we're waiting for one more person, to join for Team Williams, and then we'll be able to crack on with the final of this event. Everyone's looking forward to it. Hopefully, you can get your teams who you're supporting in the comments. Which ones are going to win the final of this event? Let us know in the comments, of course. And yeah, and then following that, of course, at 9 o'clock is the team and driver draw for the upcoming season, starting 19th of July. So one more person just to join, and then we'll crack on with the final. And he's in. So yeah, we've got a couple more minutes to go. Just making sure everyone's got their cup of teas and everything sorted. Had a half-time orange and everything like that, and then we can crack on with the final of this event. We've got all the drivers in now, so we're just waiting for 8 o'clock to come around, and then we'll crack on with the final race, or the last race of this event. We're nearly there now. 1 minute to go, also. So yeah, hold on to your horses. Yeah, if there's anybody who wants a specific team in the draw, let us know in the comments which teams you want. Of course, we can't guarantee any teams that you can get. It is a random draw, but yeah, let us know who you want in the teams, who you want your teammates to be, of course, in the comments as well. So yeah, let us know which one you fancy, which ones you're not looking at in terms of liveries and things like that, and we can crack on, and we can have a bit of a laugh about which car's going to be who's going to be in which car. But we'll find out, of course. Milan wants the AlphaTauri he's currently in Team Renault, of course, for this event, but AlphaTauri for the next season, of course. But we'll have to wait and see. A couple more seconds to go until we can get cracking. And then we will get going with the final of the ALR Constructors Supercup. We'll just wait for everyone to start readying up now. I think we can ready up now just in time for 8 o'clock, and we can get cracking on time. And yeah, and then we will get going for the final of this event. So just loading up now, waiting for the timer to count down. It is 8 o'clock now. We are ready to go, and the teams are ready to go as well, I think, just about. And yeah, we're just readying up now to get cracking in the next few seconds. So just waiting for the timer to tick down. Eventually, we'll get there one day, and then we can we'll crack on with this event. Of course, another race round Silverstone, the final race of the event as well, and it's going to be between Team Williams and Team Renault. Of course, both teams didn't do too well in the group stages for Group A for Williams and Group B for Renault, but they battled through in the knockouts and done a good job. And Ginger Rage just said, "Good luck, guys. Done a beautiful job." Exactly. Yeah, I echo that sentiment. Very good from Ginger Rage. Of course, returning to commentary. We'll return to the comments box for the start of the new seasons. So yeah, looking forward for me to, I'm looking forward personally to step down from the commentary box. And yeah, let Sean crack on with the usual stuff. But yeah, we're just waiting to see. Obviously, for in this situation again, we're waiting for them to load their setups, get everything sorted, everything tweaked to perfection, of course. Or to their preferences rather, and then we'll crack on with the one-shot qualifying for the final. The final time, of course, for the qualifying, it's going to be 4v4 tonight. So 4 for Team Renault, 4 for Team Williams. We're just waiting for them to load up their setups, and then we'll crack on with the very last one-shot qualifying of the event. It's well, I suppose in some ways it's sad to see it go, but I'm going very very relaxed now that I'm not going to have to commentate after this. So yeah, in some ways I'm looking forward to the end of this as well at the same time. So yeah, just waiting for them to load up, and then we'll crack on for the final one-shot qualifying. And this is the final of the event as well. So it's the Team Renault and Team Williams have done a great job, both of them, to get this far as well. Let me just get the telemetry sorted. And we've got 3 guys there on soft compound tyres and 5 on the mediums, of course. So yeah, all over the place in terms of strategies at the moment as it stands. But anything can happen, obviously, later on in the qualifying, of course. Even though it's only a one-shot qualifying, anything can happen. And in the race itself, obviously, 13 laps around this lovely circuit of Silverstone in the lovely sunshine, which we don't see too much around Britain, but it's currently sunny outside my window, just about. So yeah, that'll do. But yeah, it's been a fantastic event to watch, and I hope these two teams can put on a really good show in the final of the event, and then we can crack on. With the draw, of course, for next season for all 3 leagues at 9 o'clock on this channel on ALR, and yeah, that will be coming up live or premiering at 9 o'clock. And after this event has finished, so we'll hopefully finish, depending on how quickly they can get across the line, around sort of 8:30ish or so, and then there's going to be a short break until we can get the draw pops up on this channel as well. So we're just waiting to see everyone cross the line and see where they're going to finish. Of course, 3 guys on the soft compound tyres, all for Team Renault. It looks like all the 3 drivers on the soft, are Team Renault. And they're all doing pretty well as it stands at the moment. Everybody for the Williams team is on the medium compound tyres, as is Smithy for Team Renault as well. So Cookie sets the fastest lap of the race, or qualifying, sorry. Serious Mushroom got disqualified there. I panicked a bit there because I thought he got disqualified. Smithy's been disqualified as well for Team Renault. So Mushroom for Team Williams and Smithy for Team Renault have been disqualified from the session. I'm not setting a time there, but everybody else, all the other 6 have all passed, have all crossed the line without getting invalidated. So Paynes and Exile for Team Williams on the medium compound tyres, Milan on the soft compound tyres, as somebody is going very fast outside my window. Milan on the soft compound tyres for Team Renault, Granty on the medium compound tyres for Williams, and then the top 2 for Renault on the soft compound tyres as well. So yeah, a bit of a mix up there. I think Renault have gone for the soft compound tyres from the start, trying to get that pace advantage off the line. But maybe Williams are trying to get the longer stint out of the way first, and then going faster towards the end of the race. Of course, we're putting the Renault guys under pressure if they can keep with them in the first stint. So just now we're waiting for them to decide exactly when they want to pit, what sort of lap number they want to pit, and then obviously what sort of fuel level they want to put in as well. Obviously you can overfuel the car and have more fuel to play with in terms of trying to go a bit faster, putting it in rich mix, but obviously you can underfuel the car as well, make it a bit lighter, which will help off the start as well. So we'll wait to see until the timer ticks down what's going on here, waiting for everyone to sort their strategies out. And then we'll get cracking with the first race of the last race of the night, the final of the ALR Constructors Supercup. So the PlayStation sounds like it's going to blow up, and the lights are on, and we are about to get racing in Silverstone for the final of the event, and away we go. Cookie gets a great start, it looks like, followed by his teammate Twan. I don't think there's going to be any position changes. Is there into turn 1? It doesn't look like it just yet. Hopefully no accidents. Either Exile has passed Milan for Williams up into P4. Paynes has passed Milan as well. Milan, coming back at him though, into the hairpin. Very tight round here, isn't it? So we want to go too wide. Granty's up into P2 ahead of Twan, so he's overtaking Twan and obviously Granty on the medium compound tyres. Let me just put the tyres on. The PlayStation sounds like it's going to blow up any minute now. Milan is under pressure from Paynes as well, into Luffield, and he's going around the outside as Paynes, but I think Milan's going to hold that position. He's just about held it as well there, and yeah, unfortunately the only person who's the only loser there is Serious Mushroom, it looks like. He's not. He's in 8th. He started in 8th. The only losers there have been Team Renault. Obviously, Milan dropping down 1 place, Twan dropping down 1 place, and Exile and Granty both moving up 1 place each for Team Williams as well. So back to the tyres then. We'll just wait and see if there's any gaps forming. It's Renault, Williams, lol, says Sam. As we've got a yellow flag there in the background for Smithy. I'm not sure if there's any coming together. We've got another yellow flag there for Twan. I'm not sure what happened there. It looks like 2 incidents, whether it was the driver's individual fault or whether they was coming together, we're not sure. Yeah, that's not very good for Team Renault, of course. I don't think I know Twan's got no front wing, but Smithy's completely lost his front wing as well. So Twan is into the pits. Cookie sets the fastest lap for Team Renault as well. Smithy is making his way back to the pits now as it stands, and Cookie sets the fastest lap, so that will be another point to Renault as it stands at the end. Oh dear, I wonder what happened. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. It looked like Smithy might have lost it himself in Maggots and Beckett's, but I'm not sure what happened to Twan because he was already out onto the hanger straight by the time he started going in the grass, it looked like. But yeah, we'll see what happens after the race on that one. Twan is ready to go. He's back out of the pits now onto the medium compound tyres. Of course, starting on the soft. Smithy is onto the soft compound tyres. So I don't know whether those will last to the end, but he's going to give it a go anyway. Back to the runners up here. We've got Serious Mushroom who's managed to jump 2 places, of course, with Twan and Smithy into the pits early. Yeah, he's on the back of his teammate of Paynes. Paynes has dropped back from Milan now, so Milan is now after Exile. Everybody else is sort of spaced out a bit. Not spaced out, sort of created a gap, rather, I should say. And yeah, we're waiting for the next round of pit stops already. But yeah, it looks like going through Maggots and Beckett's, as we can see here they come. We've got great bit of racing between Milan and Exile coming up, I believe. Milan's a pretty fast driver, and of course Exile is going to be rivaling in the gold season, season 4 coming up after this event on the 19th of July is the start in Australia. And yeah, we're just waiting to see if we're just waiting to see if there's going to be any more moves. Cookie sets the fastest lap of the race again, so he's extending that lead out in front. Granty's not too far back, and he is on the harder compound tyre, is Granty, so it could come back to Williams here. Well, in terms of the lead of this race, of course, and it's they have been putting in a good shift early on in this stint to make sure those gaps don't extend too far between the Renault guys as it stands at the moment. Of course, Twan and Smithy had to make early pit stops for front wing change, and it's really put them out of position as it stands at the moment. But of course, Twan and Smithy both going to be on Smithy on quicker tyres, and Twan obviously qualifying in P2 as well isn't going to be too slow around this track either. So potentially they can gain and make an undercut still work on the guys in front of them, especially those two Williams guys in P5 and P6 potentially. But Milan is all over the back now of Exile, it looks like. Paynes is actually bringing that gap down as well, so Paynes is going to be in DRS range of the Renault driver, who's going to be slipstreaming his teammate, it looks like, after they come out Maggots and Beckett onto the hanger straight. Oh dear, I wonder what happened. Yes, I don't know what happened there. I think Sam's talking about the earlier incident with Twan. But but let's have a look at see if Milan can make a move into Stowe on Exile. Coming up to Stowe now, and he's too far back, unfortunately, as is Paynes on Milan. The problem we've got when you're DRS trained with three people is if you're the third car, you really can't do much because you're the second guy, the middle guy has got the DRS on this case on your teammate, and will be able to just sort of pull away from you, so you can't really make an overtake unless there's mistakes from the two guys in front of you. So you've got to stay with them and just wait and see if you can do an undercut on them later on in the race. Potentially, we'll see if they can do that. Granty's now dropped back to about 2 seconds from Cookie. I think those soft tyres are still in their peak performance. Milan is on soft tyres as well for Team Renault, so we'll be making an earlier pit stop potentially than the Williams guys, but we'll wait and see. He's lining up another move on Exile as we look down into the end of the DRS straight, and he can't make a move stick again, too far back for the Renault driver. But so you see that gap is coming down for Twan to Mushroom as well, so potentially Twan could get a jump on the Williams driver if he can keep getting his foot down and get that gap further down as well. Back to this battle here, we've got into Cops we go. Twan's got a 3-second time penalty, maybe not then, he's going to be a bit under pressure with the time penalties adding up to the end of this race. Payne has dropped back out of DRS now of Milan, but Milan is still all over the back of Exile, and potentially could line up a move now into Stowe, going very wide onto the hanger straight, and that's going to cost him a lot of time now, and potentially even Paynes could be interested now in getting an overtake done. Not quite, I don't think, but Milan dropping out of the not out of DRS range, but dropping right back from the Williams driver there to gift a bit of a gap there to the Williams team. Milan into the pits, and a 5-second penalty for Milan for speeding in the pit lane, and I think Payne's in the pits as well, and he's managed to stop it in time. He has managed to stop it in time, but Milan has got a 5-second penalty there for speeding into the pit lane. Serious Mushroom jumps up to P4 now, having yet to pit, and everybody else from P5 downwards now has made their pit stop. So it's just the top 4 who have yet to pit now. So technically everybody from P5 downwards can carry on to the end of the race if they can make it that far. But we'll wait to see if that can happen or not, and we will find out obviously in the next few laps potentially. Cookie there on board with Cookie now as he's controlling the lead of this race, but he's still within that, or Grant is still within that 2-second window of the lead car, and of course on the medium compound tyre he's not doing too shabbily, or too badly I should say, because that just sounds silly really, but not too badly on behind the Renault driver in P1. But that's all the gaps have extended now. Milan obviously making his pit stop is now quite a far way back from the Twan gets another 3-second time penalty there. As Milan is quite a far way back from Serious Mushroom in P4, but of course he is the first car to have made a pit stop. Everybody else from P5 downwards has made their pit stop. Everybody from everybody in the top 4 has not yet pit. So wait and see if anybody's going to make an early pit stop now. Is Cookie can come in? He's going to stay out. Is Cookie? So he's staying out. Is the Renault driver on those soft compound tyres? I think everybody else was. So Granty is into the pits now for the Williams drivers, for Williams team. Sorry, going to be going on to the soft compound tyres, I believe. Exile has carried on up into P2 now. It's Exile and Serious Mushroom. Is in the pits as well for Williams. So they'll be both coming in now for soft compound tyres. As I think Granty's going to be in and out before Exile, before Mushroom reaches his pit box. I think. Yep, there he goes. Is Milan going to jump Granty? Definitely not. Is Milan going to jump Serious Mushroom? That is a question, because it's going to be a long way down to the end of the pit lane now for Serious Mushroom, and I think potentially he could get jumped by Milan and his teammate Paynes as they come across the finish line now, and Milan is through, as is Paynes now, and Serious Mushroom has dropped down to P6. Milan has got a 3-second time penalty there, so Paynes has actually made an undercut work on his teammate Serious Mushroom. I think I'm not sure now. No, maybe not. Sorry, I'm thinking of Exile, who is yet to pit, of course. So potentially they could have made an undercut on Exile. We never know. We'll find out in a minute when Exile makes a pit stop. But we're waiting for the two leaders, or P1 and P2 of Cookie, who for Renault, and Exile for Williams, to make their pit stops. Bit of a gap between the two of them at the moment, pretty much back to that length of the straight really, but they're not coming in the pits. Well, Cookie's not coming in the pits as yet. Exile might be coming into the pits later on in this lap. He's comes around Stowe, and into the pits he comes. He's going to slow down in time. I don't think so. He has actually. Oh no, he's not. Yeah, I didn't think so. It looked like he was going a bit too fast into the pit lane there. He's got a 5-second penalty for his troubles, and that will come back to be added to his time at the end of the race. Or if he makes another pit stop, it will be taken when he makes that pit stop in the race as well. So he's coming into the pits now and putting on this set of soft compound tyres, some fresh boots for the Williams driver, and away he goes now. He's still in P2, but I think Granty will jump him potentially. We've got a long way down to the pit lane. Of course, he's going very, very slowly, of course, as well down this pit lane. So Granty, I think, will jump him, but he will be very close actually to Milan and to Paynes. He's coming out now. He's going to be side by side with Paynes. Milan is up into P3, and he's right behind him now is Exile. Paynes is a bit further back, but it's going to be within DRS range, I believe. But Exile might have DRS actually on Milan, which will be really good for him, getting after that Renault driver. Obviously on the soft compound tyres now as well, on the fresher tyres. He needs to get the power down and get after the Renault driver to obviously get that place back for the Williams team. And he's bringing Paynes along with him as well, so potentially they could both jump Milan, and that will be a very good result for Team Williams if they can both get P4 and P3 and P4 confirmed for their team as well. But we'll find out obviously later on in the race. We've got a few more laps to go. Cookie is yet to pit. He's the only one left to pit, and he's still going as well. He's going around Club Corner now onto the 8th lap. Sorry. As it changes there in the top left corner, and we're waiting for some overtakes now to happen. Exile on the back of Milan will be the overtake I think that we'll see first, potentially, unless there's a mistake somewhere else. But it looks like he's lining up a move into Stowe. Milan goes to the inside to defend, and Exile is going around the outside. He's made the move stick, I think. Yeah, he has made that move up into P3 for Team Williams, and now it's Payne's turn to get after the Renault driver. But of course, it's going to be the same situation as before. With when there's 3 cars abreast, they're going to be all into in the same DRS. Well, apart from the lead car, of course, all in the DRS range, trying to attack, and they won't be able to make that move stick, of course. But it looks like Paynes is actually struggling a bit now in terms of getting in the DRS window. He's almost outside of it now, it looks like. Well, he knows he's back in it now, so he's all right. So maybe Paynes is struggling there. Granty has set the fastest lap of the race. I did see that pop up. But so we'll see what happens if he's going to keep hold of that. Of course, Cookie yet to pit, so we'll be on fresh and medium compound tyres though. After this race, Cookie just kicking up the grass there a bit of dust coming up in the air there. But Granty is gaining on him as it stands at the moment. So maybe those soft compound tyres are falling off a bit for Cookie. We're just waiting to see if he's going to pit in this lap. He is pitting in this lap. In he goes, and he's slowed it down in time. Into the pits comes the leader of this race, of Cookie. Granty's coming around Maggots and Beckett's now. We'll see if he can make the undercut work and jump Cookie in those pit stops, but we'll find out in a minute. Cookie is still coming through. He's just about actually got onto the actual pit lane, and he's coming around now. It will be close, I think, between the two of them. Obviously, it was only about 2-second gap between Cookie and Granty before the pit stop phase. So we'll find out as he's going to trundle along the pit lane at about 37 miles an hour. And there we go. And Milan, is being put under pressure from Paynes now, and into Club Corner they go, resuming position there of P3 Williams, P4 Renault, and P5 Williams as well. But this is the closest battle on track between the 4 of them. Granty's actually cut the gap down to Cookie by a second there. It looks like almost within DRS range is Granty, but just outside tantalisingly. Tran is back in the pits for Team Renault, so maybe he's going to be putting on the soft compound tyres to go to the end of this race. But we'll find out in a minute see if he can get that fastest lap as well, maybe for Team Renault on top of that. But Milan is, Milan is actually under pressure from Paynes here. Smithy's past Twan's already in the pits. No moves there into after the first DRS zone. We'll wait and see if there can be any more moves later on heading towards Stowe. But we'll wait to see if that happens or not. Granty's trying to get within that DRS range of the lead Renault, of the leader of this race, but he's not quite in it now, unfortunately. So he's very close, but he's just too far back. And Paynes has got a 3-team company there for the Williams driver there, all over the back of Milan. It looks like here. But he's just he's not been able to make that move, or make that move stick rather, on the Renault driver, not the Milan driver. But he's going to be side by side down the hang straight into Stowe. He's made the move. He's the car ahead as it stands. He's into Stowe in the lead, as the lead car, and he's made that move stick. He's got the inside now into Club, of course, as well. So he's made that move up into P4 for the Williams driver. Great move for Paynes, as Exile is getting away now in P3, but of course he can now give his teammate a bit of a tow and pull him away from Milan, or at least help him defend from Milan later on in the latter stages of this race, with 3.5 laps to go, it looks like. We're almost there. Grant is dropping a bit further back now from Cookie. I think those medium compound tyres have warmed up enough now, and Cookie's now got the performance. Nice overtake by Payne, says Sam. It was a very nice overtake, and I think he is using DRS now on his teammate. But whether he makes a move again on his teammate as well, we'll find out in a minute. Milan is going to be trying to fight back for Team Renault, but I don't know whether it's going to be too little too late for the Renault team. Of course, Smithy is in P7, and Twan is back in the pits again for Team Renault. So I don't know what he is doing really. He's making pit stop after pit stop. He's on his third pit stop now, I think. And it's a bit confusing for what Twan's doing here, but he's going to be lapped probably soon by his teammate of Cookie. We'll see in a minute. Granty's outside of that. He's 1.5 seconds away from the leader of this race, so maybe later on he's saving up now, and he's going to come back at him. But here's the battle for P3 really, between Paynes, as Paynes has passed his teammate Exile. I think now it's maybe team orders. Milan's going to go down the inside now of Exile as well, and Milan's back up to P4. So a bit of team play there for Team Williams. Has not gone to plan. Well, it has gone to plan in a way. It's promoted Paynes up to P3, but it's put Exile back into P5. So Milan sensing the opportunity to make an overtake there, and jumping Exile as Paynes did as well. So the team orders was going to work well to effect there, but unfortunately Milan saw that coming as well, and decided to make that move and got him back up to P4 for Team Renault, which is a good move for Team Renault as well, making sure he gets that extra point. But can he get after Paynes now and maybe make that overtake to get P3 back? We'll find out in the next couple of laps. We've got 2.5 laps to go now, so we are just waiting to see who's going to finish where. Of course, penalties will come into play at the end of this race. Of course, we will find out exactly who's got what, but I'm not exactly sure who's got what. I know Twan has got 2 penalties, I think, of 6 seconds in total, and I know Paynes, I think, got a speeding in the pit lane penalty as well, as did Milan. So of course that's 5 seconds for each of those drivers. But we'll have to add them all up at the end, and obviously that will that's where they'll finish. It will take into account obviously their penalties, and where their finishing position will be. Milan is under pressure more from Exile than he is putting on Paynes, but he's kept that position in P4 as Milan at the moment. Staying in the same order as these 3 drivers. Is Exile making a move down the inside? He's made a move down the inside, but Milan's covered him off and kept that position. But he's dropped a bit far back from Paynes now, so maybe if he's outside that DRS window, Exile can get excited about this. And he's going down the inside as Exile into turn 1. He's made the move. He's gone a bit wide, but he's kept it for the Williams team, and that's about. Well, I think that move was a very strong move from Team Williams. Very good statement of intent from Exile as well, and he's made that move stick. And we'll have the DRS now on his teammate as well to protect himself from Milan, who is now in P5, dropping down for Team Renault. And Smithy is in the pits now as well, so I don't know what Team Renault are doing. maybe those soft compound tyres, are dropping off for him, Smithy, because of course he had to pit after his first lap incident in the in Maggots and Beckett's. But we'll wait and see if there's going to be any changes in terms of positions. I don't think so, because I think Twan is too far back, and potentially Twan is going for the fastest lap as it stands here. But yeah, we'll wait and see, because obviously both these Renault drivers are way too far back now to warrant any position changes with the Williams team. So they'll have to go for the fastest lap to at least try and get the extra point for themselves, for the Renault team, of course, and then try and hope that it helps them. Later on at the standing stage at this race. But we're on the on the penultimate lap now. We're just about to start the final lap as Cookie comes into club corner. He's trying to catch up to the back of his teammate. It looks like of Twan, who's trying to lap. But he starts the penultimate lap, as does Granty, Paynes, and Exile and Milan, all in the same in the new order, coming across the line now to start their final laps as well. So Milan really needs to get on it now if he wants to try and make any moves on the Williams team now, of the Williams 2 ahead of him as well. So see if he can get some extra points for Renault. But it looks like, as it stands, it could be a Williams win of the ALR Constructors Supercup event. But we'll wait and see until everyone's crossed the line, until all the penalties have been taken into account. We will not know that, of course. We'll have to wait and see until everything's been added up. Exile is lining up a move on Paynes. Paynes is let him through into after the first DRS straight, and the Williams have switched positions here. So yeah, there's just a switch of play between Exile and Paynes. Milan has not been able to make any inroads on these two. Twan's got a threesome time penalty there for corner cutting in Maggots and Beckett's, it looks like, and yeah, unfortunate for Twan, he's not been able to capitalise on putting those fresh soft compound tyres on. Waiting for the checker flag to fall. Cookie has come out to stay now, so we've got a few more seconds to watch this battle. We're watching Milan. I think Milan's actually dropped back now compared to Paynes and Exile, so we're going into Stowe for the final time for these three. We'll see if there's any moves, but I don't think there will be. I think they're all spread out enough now. Cookie comes around the final corner to win the final for Team Renault. Granty crosses the line in P2. Exile is going to be in P3, or is he? We'll find out in a minute. Exile is going to be in P3. And Paynes is going to be in P... Oh no, Paynes is in P3, sorry. And Exile is in P4. Serious Mushrooms in P3. Paynes is in P4. Exile in P5. Milan in P6. And Smithy and Twan, we're waiting to cross the line. So it's 10 for Cookie for crossing the line in P1. But the next Renault driver is actually Milan in P6, which is 5 points. And then Smithy gets 4 points. And Twan gets 3 points. So it's 9 points, for Granty in P2, 8 for Serious Mushroom in P3, 7 for Paynes in P4, and 6 for Williams in P5. So we'll wait for these two to cross the line here, and I can tell you that it's going to be a win for Team Williams. They have won the final in this event. As it stands, of course, penalties will come into effect, but I think the only penalties that are left are for the two who are yet to finish, and fastest lap will of course be added into that as well. So yeah, we're just waiting to see the final two cross the line here for Team Renault, and see if they can get fastest lap point as well. But yeah, we'll wait and see as they cross the line. Smithy has crossed the line in P7. We're waiting for Twan now to get across the line here in P8 as it stands. Of course, penalties might jump him up to P7, but we'll find out in a minute as he crosses the line in P8 there. And yeah, Williams have won the final of this event, 30-22. Of course, without fastest lap taken into account, but only 1 point for fastest lap won't make much of a difference. But here we go, as the Williams guys. Well, we've got Cookie, celebrating on the podium, but he's not got much to celebrate, unfortunately, as the Renault team have come second in this event. Williams have been crowned the champions of the ALR Constructors Supercup, and done it in great style in the final race around Silverstone. So yeah, two Williams guys celebrating on the podium, and one Renault guy just getting sprayed with champagne. And yeah, really good racing from all the Williams team and all the Williams team throughout the tournament. Unfortunately, their group stage wasn't too good, but they've pulled it off when it matters, and they have won the ALR Constructors Super Cup in the final. And they great performance from all of them really today, and great performance actually from everybody. I think they've all done a really good job. And the fastest lap was Granty with a 28.531. It looks like, yep, it was. Let me just put that in, because that's an extra point, of course, for Team Williams, which means it's actually 31-22 to Team Williams at the very end. And yeah, really good racing from everybody in the event as well. I think not just, of course, Team Williams, but credit to everybody who's taken part, and a really big thank you to, of course, the reserves who've taken part as well, who've helped out in this event, and have done a really good job. So yeah, really good job from everybody. Well done to Williams, crowned the champions of the Constructors. So fantastic racing from them two, and yeah, hopefully they can. If we do another one, they can defend their title. But we'll find out in all due course. Of course, we won't. I'm not planning one yet. Not planning another one yet, of course. But we'll find out soon once the new seasons, of course, come to the end. There will be a team and driver draw, of course, coming up at 9 o'clock tonight, for Gold Season 4, Silver Season 2, Bronze Season 2 as well. And yeah, they'll be all coming up. So, of course, Gold is starting on the 19th of July, 2 weeks on Sunday. The 20th, is Silver Season 2, which will be 2 weeks from tomorrow. And then on the 21st of July is Bronze Season 2, which will be 2 weeks from this Tuesday coming up. So the draw for all of those leagues, all 3 leagues, is coming up at 9 o'clock tonight. So we hope you'll see you there in the next half an hour or so. But thank you very much for everybody who's tuned in for the event, everyone who's commented, everybody who's taken part, and we'll hope to put on another one at the end of the next season. Cheers, bye.